So, you're a new dungeon master who doesn't really know what they're doing, but honestly, most of us don't anyway. And you're looking for something to help you out. So, I came up with this essential checklist that I think will be good. So, let's just get right to it. First item on the list is a dungeon master screen or just anything to cover up your dice. I have this. This is made out of wood. I made it. I wrote an article on how to do it, and you can go make one yourself. It could just be like a book or a folder, anything really, to hide your dice from the players. And some people disagree with this, but I'm going to go over a few points on why I think it's important. Point number 1 is that it's going to help build suspense between the players and the dungeon master and kind of add another level of immersion, so it's not just a game about math, even though that's exactly what it is. Point number 2 is that it helps newer players stop trying to do your job. I've only seen this happen a little bit with newer players, but when I was rolling out in the open, they would look at it and they'd just say, "Oh no, that doesn't hit," or they would try to be the DM. It's like, well, you don't know what's going on. So the screen is always good for that. And you can also just kind of mess with the players and just roll random stuff and be like, "Oh, geez, that doesn't look good." And it just adds another level that I like. Finally, it lets you fudge your dice rolls without the players necessarily knowing. Some people, again, don't agree with this. I think it's fine. I mean, you can do whatever you want. It's your game. I like to do it. It's usually in the player's benefit, honestly. Sometimes I make battles too hard, or I'm really on a roll and I get a lot of nat 20s and I feel bad and I don't want to kill everybody. So yeah, having a DM screen allows you to do that without obviously cheating, but it's not cheating, it's okay. Another reason why having a DM screen is good kind of brings us to number 2 in the checklist, is that you can have things that you use for referencing. I'll go over a few examples, but you can kind of make it whatever you want to be that helps suit you the most. So some commonly included ones are conditions, rules for cover, grappling rules. You might have spell save DC calculator, which is 8 plus proficiency plus spellcasting modifier. Just things that you look up frequently, even if it's, you could have spells on there if there's a spell that a player uses all the time, or certain prices for items. Another essential item on this checklist is a random name table, and you can also put that on the back of your DM screen, because Lord knows the players are going to do some random shit and you're not going to be ready for it. So it's just good to have a list of names that sound believable enough, so you don't have every NPC named, Tom and Jerry or things like that. And of course, when you do use one of those names, be sure you mark it off and take a note. Another useful random table is a loot table, because if you are not completely prepared, which never ever happens, you can just roll on this table when your players search something and take something from the table. There are some of these in the Dungeon Master's Guide, as well as a bunch of different homebrew, or you can just make up your own. Another final point that you can put on the back of your DM screen is some information about the players, just to quickly reference so you don't have to ask them over and over and over again. So things like their AC, maybe their max health, their passive perception are all useful. You might also want to include some of the languages or proficiencies that they have, as well as any character information like backstories or flaws or relationships with major political factions in your world. Another super useful thing for new DMs and just DMs in general is having a scrap piece of paper handy, because you never know when you're going to need to take notes. If you make something up, or if the players do something really important, you want to be sure to write it down, so that when you're preparing the next session, you can look at it and say, "Oh yeah, they did that thing, so now I have to think, actually. I have to figure out what I'm doing." This can be, I just use regular paper. I use paper for everything. I love sticky notes, or just blank printer paper. You could also use a blank Word document or a text file, anything of that sort. You could do it on your phone, but it'd be easier, I think, on a laptop if you're running it. But for me, I just like paper. It's, oh, okay, I can just jot a note down real quick and then keep playing. Not have to worry about taking a break. The next item on this checklist is going to be ambient music. This is super easy to do. You don't have to have sounds for every different area. A good go-to is the Skyrim soundtrack or the Witcher 3 soundtrack, or just search YouTube RPG ambient music, or forest sounds or tavern music. There's literally limitless possibilities, unlimited, limitless. There's plenty of options. Just get something an hour or two long, press play, turn the volume down, and that's gonna help your game overall. Another useful item on this checklist is having an extra encounter prepared, because as you might know, players just do stuff sometimes and they completely veer off from what you thought they were going to do. Now, of course, if you can kind of take what you had planned over here and just put it over there. It's all about the illusion of choice. But sometimes that's not an option if it's really plot dependent or location dependent, or you just don't feel like it. So in those situations, having an extra encounter ready, balanced to the level of the party, is really good, because this is going to give yourself some time as a DM to kind of do some improv thinking and figure out what the hell's going on. And it's going to also keep the players entertained instead of you just stumbling through your words as you avoid that. It's just easier on everyone. I use kobold.club to check balancing issues, because I don't understand the system of XP and challenge ratings, and I don't really care to, because there's a website that does it for me. Save yourself the time and effort. Just go there. It's awesome. It's free. Another item on this checklist that's pretty important but not directly related to the gaming is just have hydration or small amount of snacks ready. I like water bottle. If you like to drink beer, you can do that too. Don't drink too much, or do. It's your game. You can do what you want. One important thing to note is that, of course, the more you drink, you're going to have more breaks, but this can be to your benefit as the DM if you need a minute to stall and think. If the players do something, again, completely unexpected, say, oh, you know what, I got to take a break real quick. And that gives you 1 to 2 minutes to come up with something. And it's just good to drink water. You're probably going to be talking a lot, so stay hydrated. Small snacks are good. Gaming fuel, keep your brain engaged. I think it helps for people who are maybe not exactly in the spotlight. I would rather have them having a little snack and still paying full attention, like popcorn in a movie theater, as opposed to not eating and, zoning out or playing on their phone or something. I wouldn't recommend eating full meals, because that is just kind of a bit more involved. It can be kind of distracting. But, do what you gotta do. If you have to, it's fine. But if you can avoid it, I would say avoid it. And the final, probably most important item on the checklist is to just smile and relax and have fun. You're just there to play a game. You're going to be nervous. You're probably going to make mistakes. You just got to go with it and have a laugh. Thanks for watching. If you want to help support the Alpine DM, I just came out with the ebook, so you can go purchase that. And if you want to check out the full article, there's going to be a link in the description. Thanks.